Well, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. We are actually headed to a buddy's house who has a GX550 Overtrail. He has a YouTube channel, Y2K, and we are going to be doing some comparison stuff between the Land Cruiser 250 and the GX550. And it would not be Destin without traffic during beautiful 4th of July tourist season, but 14 minutes to go 6.1 miles. I really want my land down in Tampa and to be away from this. I was actually looking at stuff too in Costa Rica. How cool would that be? And they sell the Land Cruiser 70 series there, brand new. And here we are pulling in. What a driveway. Dang. So definitely not the Toyota content for you guys. We have an old Diablo, and then this isn't a 430, right? What is
348 Spider.
348 Spider. Dude, that yellow pops.
This is the first Spider they made after the Daytona.
After the Daytona. Weren't you supposed to sell this one, then you kept it, or?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I found it to resell and I kept it. For a dealership.
Perfect. All right, so Blake's taking the Land Cruiser. I have the keys to the GX. Definitely weird following the Land Cruiser, but look at that heritage blue paint with the overcast. But first impressions of the GX after driving the Land Cruiser. First of all, Blake said he enjoys hearing the boost. So he is chilling at 14 miles per gallon, which is about 7 less than I am in the Land Cruiser. But the GX, very solid, very quiet. I feel like it's a bit more plushy on the road, especially with the EKDSS, like going through these turns and stuff real quick with it. And then the powertrain, it's the Tundra powertrain, and the V6 feels good. It's definitely not as loud and as rev out whiny like that 4-cylinder is in that Land Cruiser. Also, the volume knob is in a better location. All right, here we go. We're gonna set the cars up for you guys over here at Joe's Bayou. Nice little spot. So we're gonna see where he goes with the Land Cruiser, probably just like right here, right next to the GX. Man, look at the headlights though. All right, so which headlights first do you guys like? The round of the Land Cruiser or the kind of like check mark right here of the GX? Well, we have both the Land Cruiser and the GX550 now here at the Bayou, so we will go ahead and take a look at both of them, and then I'm gonna hop back into the GX and kind of give another driving impression with it. But if you guys look at these vehicles, if you're cross-shopping both of them, they're very similar in their own ways, but there are some key differences. The main body itself is the exact same. Like the dimensions of it is the same, the wheelbase is the same, the height of it, the just body itself is the same, but Lexus is a little bit different up front with their grille and their lighting choice, whereas Toyota has chose to go kind of like the more heritage route, the rounder headlights. When we're up front on the Land Cruiser 2, you could see that we have some rigid fog lights down here that will turn both an amber color and also a white light, whereas the GX up front, it does not have those different fog lights, but it does have a cool little light right here. So if you're turning, this will actually shine out so you could see kind of down this way if you are turning at night. But take a look at the Lexus grille. What do you guys think? We also have the skid plate down there at the bottom too. And then again, another look at Toyota's grille. A bit more plasticky for sure. And then we also have the recovery hooks down there too on the Toyota, as well as the Lexus does have it too. It does come with these Toyo Open Country tires. We're on 18, so this was a collab with Toyota, or I'm sorry, Lexus and Toyo to make them very comfortable while on the road and pretty quiet as well. Both of these things have the same type of mirrors, which I'm still kind of getting used to. It is still a little bit hard to see sometimes in these mirrors just because they are so tall, but they are pretty unique and I do like them. And I just noticed that this GX is actually like a clear glass, like a smoked glass right there, whereas my Land Cruiser, it has more of a kind of amber to it. Now mine is the first edition, so you can get the Land Cruiser with roof rack and also the rock rails, but the first edition it comes standard with it and also the mud flaps. And then Blake's GX over here actually seems to have the same rock rails on it. And again, this is the Over Trail Plus, so this MSRP is about $82,000, so $10,000 more than the Land Cruiser, but you do get like the massaging seats and just all the goodies up inside this one. We'll go ahead and take a look at the interior of this GX550. So this is what we're gonna get with that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. We can see the doors, and I'll just compare this to the Land Cruiser. Now the soft touch materials is just all over the place. I know that the GX on the screen for you guys just doesn't come out like it looks like a bunch of cheap plastic, but there is just soft touch materials everywhere if you guys are actually able to sit in one. Massaging seats, heated and ventilated. He has like the suede right here for the olive. We do have the cool box in this one. Massive 14-inch screen, a nice little shelf over there for the GX. You have your USB-Cs. The GX is also full-time four-wheel drive, and with the Over Trail, you get the center locking diff and also rear locking diff, and we also have all the goody crawl control features right there. The Over Trail, we also have the Peasant blockers in it with the Mark Levinson sound system throughout, and you can only get the Over Trail as a two-row SUV as well. So kind of the same as the Land Cruiser, which only comes as a two-row. Then we have our vents back here for the rear occupants. And we also have heated seats back here, but it doesn't look like it's a 3-zone climate control, whereas the Land Cruiser is. Now we'll come to the back. This is also where the Land Cruiser and the GX are a little bit different. The GX has the typical Lexus LED bar that goes all the way across. You also have the tow hitch receiver down here. I believe the GX is around 9,000 pounds that it could tow, which is kind of crazy for a short wheelbase SUV like this. But take a look at the cargo space back here. We do have cup holders in the back because, like I said, the GX can be a 3-row SUV, just not in the Over Trail, at least as of yet. Blake does have a cargo net up. I'm gonna take this down real quick for you guys. But you can see just the kind of flatter floor right here on the GX. And if you were to fold the seats down, there would be a massive hump right there. So as we come on into the Land Cruiser now, we'll start to see some differences. My door as well, all soft touch materials. Again, even though it looks plasticky and stuff over on the camera, it's very soft touch materials. The GX, it does have soft touch still up here, whereas this is plastic on the Land Cruiser. However, once we go over here to the middle of it, it is soft touch. Seats, very dang close to similar. They're very close to similar, except for mine does not have the massaging seats. We have a 12.3-inch screen right here. No shelf over there, unfortunately. And all Land Cruisers, not just like their off-roady ones, will come with a center locking diff and a rear locking diff. Mine also has a front stabilizer disconnect, and we also have the multi-terrain select, the crawl control, and all of our goodies right there. And since mine is upgraded a little bit, we do have a cool box right there in the center, and then the moonroof too up top, which the Lexus also has. Coming to the back, we do not have the Peasant blockers back here where the GX does, but we do have soft touch materials. Same exact center row as the GX over there. However, we do not have heated seats in the back, but your rear occupants are able to select their temperature. So this Land Cruiser is a 3-zone climate control, whereas that GX, it's only a dual, so only the people up front can be in charge of their temperature. Look at this view behind me, amazing. But as we come to the back of the Land Cruiser, very simple back here, just says Toyota in the back, iForce Max badge, which I'm still contemplating about taking off. This Land Cruiser can tow up to 6,000 pounds, and just a little bit different than the GX over there, no? As we open the back of this though, a bit different than the GX, but kind of similar. You could see that little hump right there. So we do have all of our battery packs and stuff back here. And I do want to point this out. I'm going to make another video about this, about what this handling the board thing is, or whatever this thing is right here. So the board could break if over 60 kilograms of objects are placed on it. The board will dislocate. So to me, what this is this board right here, not the actual area right here. So that's what I think that is. But anyways, coming back to this, this is the only way you can get a Land Cruiser, no matter what, no matter the package, whether it's the 58 normal Land Cruiser or the first edition or whatever they replace it with next year. And then we also do get a 2400 watt inverter back here, which the GX does not. I believe it is only a 400 watt inverter over on the GX. But aside from that, middle seat, you know, comfort space to me is the exact same. Front seat space and driving position feels like the exact same, but the driving characteristics of these two are pretty different. And the reason for that is because this has the 3.4 liter V6 twin turbocharged connected to a 10-speed transmission along with EKDSS suspension, whereas this Land Cruiser here, it has a hybrid setup with a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder single turbocharger connected to an 8-speed transmission. All right, so as we get into the GX, feels like a super solid door for sure. So Blake was just in here hanging out because it is 83 degrees outside, which ain't that bad right now for Florida. However, it is humid because it just dumped rain. Again, you guys saw the moat at my house. Now people are pulling out their boats. Nice little Sea-Doo switch right there. Man, I miss mine. And just all this water from the recent just quick little storm that we got. But again, Blake is in the Land Cruiser. We're gonna get his opinions of how that thing drove. And I'm just gonna follow him in this GX and just give you guys my opinions on it. We have very kind of limited time today, unfortunately, because they're getting ready to head out of town to avoid all the crazy tourists and stuff. But just sitting here in the LC, or sorry, the GX, I do like how my Land Cruiser has a lot of physical buttons. So even though that this is a 14-inch screen, right, which is nice, a lot of your climate control features are all integrated into it. And both the Land Cruiser and GX, they kind of put your climate stuff down here at the bottom, which I'm not the biggest fan of. It's a little bit hard to do. And then I want my ventilated seats on a little bit. All right, so that's sweet. We do have paddle shifters on this, which is pretty cool. And again, just soft touch materials really everywhere. Center console is nice. We do have some kind of like hidden buttons, I guess, up here and stuff. It seems like maybe a little bit much of dead space when compared to the Land Cruiser, I feel. And then the cool box is sweet in both vehicles, but unfortunately you do lose some console space. But I love that the GX has a shelf right here. Looking up top, he actually does not have a digital rear view mirror, which my Land Cruiser does. I just noticed that. And then all of this is pretty much the exact same. So like the touch sensitive LED lights and everything, and this whole thing just looks the exact same, I feel, for both. Just a stunning day today after the storm, but we have a little bit of a speed bump right here. I'm gonna see how it feels. Pretty solid, give it some gas. Little bit laggy compared to the Land Cruiser, but she does get up and go. Definitely sounds a bit better as well with that 6-cylinder. Doesn't sound as whiny like throughout it. Like if I was to floor the Land Cruiser right there, the Land Cruiser has a bit more punch real quick out of the gate, whereas this, little bit of a delay, but once you're powering through it, this definitely has a bit more power kind of like on the top end. And again, just sounds better than a 4-cylinder. You can't make a whiny 4-cylinder sound good at all. All right, so we are coming up to the Emerald Grand, and also McGuire's is over here. If you guys are ever in Destin, McGuire's is a good place to go. And then we can see Crab Island popping off over there today. We're gonna go down onto Okaloosa Island, gonna listen to wind noise on this. We do have acoustic glass on the Land Cruiser, which I am a big fan of. A big gripe for me that Land Cruiser right there at $73,000 does not have acoustic glass. It has like super thin, just cheap glass. And this GX, from what I remember, was fairly quiet when I test drove it in Tucson. Taking off. And then now I'm gonna have to wait. I hear you, I'm good. Taking off as well now. That feels just like the Tundra right there, which I really, really like. Yeah, Crab Island today, guys. popping. But we're going, oh, I need to slow down. 45 miles an hour. The bridge speed is 35, so I need to slow down a little bit. It's very quiet. The Toyos, you can hear these wheels, I'm sorry, these tires a little bit more than you can on the Land Cruiser, because I have the Michelins on the Land Cruiser. These are just a little bit louder, even at just, 40 miles an hour or so. So as we get up to speed, we're at about 50 miles an hour right now. Speed limit's 55. As we get up to speed, we will go ahead and take a listen at 55. Don't hear a whole lot of wind noise. Blake said that they actually took the crossbars off of up top because he said the wind noise was just so bad with the crossbars. Now, I hear some wind noise from our Land Cruiser with the first edition roof rack back there, but not a whole lot. There is some wind noise that definitely comes from the front windshield right here, some, but not too terrible of a whole lot. But again, these acoustic windows, very, very nice to have. It is a little bit bumpy for me right now on this road. It is a pretty decently maintained road, but I feel like I'm bumping around a little bit more than I did in the Land Cruiser literally yesterday when I just went down this road. So I'm not sure what that's all about. I could just feel it like in my hand on the steering wheel. Just feel a little bit bumpy with it, and I feel it a tad bit bumpier in my seat. It's just kind of weird how this GX550 is compared to the Land Cruiser. Like, sometimes the Land Cruiser feels a little bit kind of too nimble, and this feels a little bit too sloshy and big, even though they're the same size. Like, that's very unique. I'm interested to hear Blake's opinion on what he thinks about it when he's done driving the Land Cruiser. And for those in the comments that are like, John, don't vlog and drive. This is why you wear sunglasses, guys, because I'm looking forward and you can't see where my eyes are at, right? And here we are, caught back up with him. Let's see if we could whip kind of both of these at the same time and go for it. Definitely got some get up for sure. Man, that's such a good looking vehicle. These vehicles look really, really good. I'm a fan of them. I mean, some people don't like their looks. I personally do. I personally like the look of the Land Cruiser a little bit more than the new 4Runner, the front end, right? I like the whole second door back of the 4Runner. But just seeing that Heritage Blue as I'm just driving, man, it looks really, really good as we pass them. It's not often, that you get to see your own vehicle just with someone else driving it, because when my wife drives the vehicle, I'm sitting inside of it, and the only other time I see it is when she's pulling up into the house or something like that. That's a good looking rig. A little bit of a lift in the future for it. Some tires. I'm not sure if it's the EKDSS, but it definitely felt a bit bouncier.
Like once we got to the end of the island, because I've already driven this, so it's kind of
right. But
I'll string it together.
Initial thoughts though, like what do you think about the Land Cruiser? Did you make the right decision for the GX?
Yeah.
Yeah?
For us, I think I did.
For you guys?
But the gas mileage on that is nice.
Yeah, you saw the 21 versus
14. I like the way this looks better.
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay.
But, and I like the top end power on it.
Right.
Because the 200 is kind of a dog to me.
Yeah.
But on the interstate, it kind of feels more like the X5 to me. Like I can get around people and stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, this one for low end around town is good and like getting up to speed, but like what you said, passing power.
Yeah.
That, I mean, once that gets strung out, it's way better than that.
I think that's like 8 seconds, and this is like 6.5.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
Well, that too. I mean, the 4-cylinder. Yeah, to 60. The 4-cylinder in that though, when you rev it out, it does not sound good. Yeah. Like compared to the.
Kind of diesely. And this kind of does too. This has a little deeper sound.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't sound as tinny as I thought it was gonna. It doesn't like a Corolla.
Yeah, it's not like a Corolla. It's definitely there though. And then when this thing idles, it's kind of the same as the Tacoma too. It has like a little diesel kind of knock to it, I guess. But
yeah, I'm not used to the engine turning off, so that was kind of cool. Even though you weren't using any gas.
Well, I'm still getting used to it because it still sometimes feels a little bit jerky, which I'm curious if that's why they haven't put it in any of the Lexus products yet. Right. Rumor has it, I'm not sure if it's official yet, it's going to be the same exact hybrid as this, but again, I feel like they're just wanting it to be more Lexus refined, you know?
Both 21-gallon tanks?
No, this is only a freaking 17.8,
really?
Yeah.
So I definitely messed that up.
Yeah, what is it? That's a 21? Okay, yeah.
But
so what the heck? So it can freaking fit, Toyota. Why did you put a 17-gallon tank? Or I'm sorry, the range is more. So it'll say, let's say, 285. But then when I redid the trip on it, I got like 320 as I was coming down. But yeah, I'm glad we got to do them. And guys, if you want to see the 200 series versus the
with fresh KO2s,
with some fresh KO2s versus the 250, we can make that happen.
We can
as well
in a few weeks.
Yeah, a few weeks, a month or so, whatever works. But again, guys, you can go over to Blake's channel, Y2K. I will put it in the description for you guys if you want to see his POV driving impressions on the Land Cruiser. So back in the Land Cruiser now, gonna go over the same kind of speed bump. Yeah, I think Blake and I both agreed that for some reason the Land Cruiser is a little bit like plush more of a ride than his Overtrail. Now that may just be the EKDSS, not sure, but the Overtrail definitely seemed to be a little bit more bouncy. And we're gonna go over another speed bump right here. I don't know what it is, guys. I think Land Cruiser for the win drivability. And then I think it is GX drive-wise for the powertrain, man, for it having that V6. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think that this Land Cruiser should have had that same powertrain, and then the 4Runner could have just had all the 4-cylinder stuff. However, even though I still think it should have that engine, I do like the 21 miles per gallon, which I know isn't incredible. I know it's not incredible. It is a big brick going through the air.